hoopinhoops.com. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so. Okay, so let's get straight into it. And I want to talk about the Heat's Bucks and the Lakers Grizzlies games. Two fantastic game fours. I will admit, I did not see the Heat win in game four, especially with Giannis returning to the lineup. And not only did Giannis play great, notching a triple double in the process, he also got help from teammates like Brook Lopez, who chipped in 36 and 11 on 13 from 23 shooting. But the story of the night was Jimmy Butler putting up 56 points. I think he ranked, about fourth in history, in terms of the number of points he put up. Now, I'm not big on, the number of points persons put up, but, how effective they were in the game and, the outcome of the game and all of that sort of thing. But points for points sake, I'm not big on it. But the 56 Jimmy Butler put up, I will tell you, the Heat needed every single one of these points. And, he did it, at the right, he put up the points at the right times. You know, Jimmy started hot and he ended hot. In the first quarter, he had about 20 points, I believe, 20 plus points. And in the fourth quarter, he put up some over 20 points again. I think at one point he scored almost what I think about 20, 21 points straight for the Heat. And you know, the thing is, with about 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the Bucks were up 12. And at that point, I'm thinking there is no way the Heat win in that game. But eventually, the Heat went on a 13-0 run to take the lead. Now, of course, we know how the game ended. The Heat won. And of course, that now puts them up 3-1 on the Bucks. Ordinarily, I would say, it's almost game over for the team that's down, in the when you look at, that 3-1 lead. But the Bucks, they're the number one seed. And there are a few things you have to take into consideration. That Giannis only just came back from injury. And you look at the Heat as depleted as they are. And the Bucks have the personnel. They have the players that should allow them or makes it possible, I should say. Because we see how Jimmy Butler is going off, and they're well coached. Their defense works, everything. They're a well run team, so it won't be any easy task. But in essence, what I'm saying, the Bucks seem well equipped to come back from a 3-1 deficit. The thing is, if they lose, it will be the second time in 4 years that the Heat eliminate the Bucks from the playoffs, and both times the Bucks had the higher seed. The previous time was in 2020 when the Bucks were the third seed, and the Heat went all the way to the NBA Finals. So let's see how that one goes. But I'm thinking the Bucks is capable of coming back in this one. But I'm making no predictions here. The Lakers Memphis game was another interesting game. And it seemed like it was a night for all time performances. LeBron put up 20 points and 20 rebounds. Well, if you're going to be accurate, he put up about 22 points. Um, Now, that makes him the oldest person to put up, 2020. And certainly the first person since Shaq did it in 2004. Of course, it also makes the Lakers go up 3-1. And it's another opportunity for a low seed, a 7 seed, to knock off a number 2 seed. The previous time I think that was done, and I'm thinking of, I'm just trying to go off my head right there. I'm thinking the last time I saw this happen was when the Houston Rockets won their second championship with Elijah Wan, Clyde Drexler and these guys. Um, so if the Lakers were to pull it off, it would be, a while since something like that has been done. Of course, we know a 1-8. I think the last time was 2012, but specifically a 2-7. Um, I think was back with Elijah Wan and company, Kenny Smith and some of these guys. I think Maxwell and some of the players. I'm also not sure what's happening with AD. It is up and down. In the first game, he was good. The second game, he didn't show up. Third game gave you a 30-17 or something like that. And this game again, he disappeared. So he's up, down, up, down. And at the half, I think Anthony Davis only took 4 shots. Um, After the third quarter, he took 7, and by the end of the game, he only took of regulation. He took only 10 shots. And you know, at that point, I think he had 10 shots and about what 10 points or something like that. But he finished the game with 13 shots and only 12 points. Now that said, defensively he was a presence, but his offensive game somewhat disappeared in game 4. It was the supporting cast, who offensively supported LeBron. That's how they won the game. Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, D'Lo. Um, well, it was D'Angelo Russell who hit back-to-back threes in the fourth when Memphis went up by, I think, by about 7, and it seemed like the game was swinging in favor of the Grizzlies. And yeah, but the supporting casts, they, they were pretty good, and they seem to be putting the ball in Austin Reeves' hands a lot to be making plays. And with LeBron being off the ball, there are times when, of course, the ball is certainly is in LeBron's hands for him to make plays, but they seem to be putting it a lot in Austin Reeves' hands as well. The thing lots of persons will also notice is after the game, Ja Morant and Dylan Brooks skipped the presser. The thing is, before the series, and it's the Memphis team seems to do that. Of course, led by Ja and Dylan Brooks, who talks quite a lot. And I think people will remember Ja mentioning, there are no teams in the West that he's concerned about. So, he's looking forward to a matchup with the Celtics. And there's Dylan Brooks, who said, it's good he wanted the Lakers, and it would be good for him to knock off LeBron quickly and move on to the next team. Now we can go on with the comments, including, conversations about how, um, you know, person should guard LeBron. And we saw LeBron remember that because on the tying play in the fourth quarter, when Dylan Brooks ended up on LeBron, you could see LeBron's eyes light up. And exactly what he says LeBron does not like to do in terms of going left. He talks about, he would either settle or, he wants to go right. But LeBron did exactly what he said he does not like to do, go left all the way to the rim and get the and one. Of course, he didn't make the and one, but he scored that key important basket. So, but yeah, with all the talk of Dylan Brooks and Ja Morant, it was not a good look for them to skip the presser. And for Dylan Brooks, it's the second time that he's skipping. He's skipping the press after the game. You know, it's one thing, to win, but you have to do it gracefully. And it's another thing when you face adversity to do it gracefully as well. That is something, you know, these young players on the Grizzlies team need to learn. Hoopinhoops.com.